this meeting of the Community Housing Board to order. All right, so the first item of business is to review the minutes.
They look great to me.
Wow. Anybody feel motiony?
I'm feeling motiony.
I'll second.
To approve these as they are.
Okay, Peter, second from Peter, all in favor? All right, so approved. Great, okay, so this is a big exciting thing, you guys. I don't know if you've been in your email, but the potentially final version of the RFP is in there. It is also going to the town board.
Yeah.
So exciting. I can't even believe we're doing it. And so, I mean, obviously we have poured over it in here. I also sent it to the town board, and next Tuesday at 2 p.m., if you can join, I will be presenting it to the town board. I would love to have you guys here, because I feel like this is like a work of blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, we put so much into this thing.
Tuesday at 2.
Tuesday at 2.
It may not be exactly at 2, but
But, like,
like as close as I get, I'll do the
Yeah.
refigure.
Yeah. I definitely super appreciate it. So I'm so excited. You guys have we've worked so hard on this. And so I sent it, so we'll be kind of talking through it. I sent it, Christina's going to post it. So I'm really pumped about it, getting it out there. And so my guess is that we will talk about the timing of issuing it on Tuesday. So that's awesome. So I'm gonna skip around, just,
One little thing on it,
yeah,
if anybody has a chance to read it one more time,
I'd like to.
just to be sure on typos, because I will be totally honest, I could not see a typo at this point. I've read it too many times.
yeah,
I think the same is true with
Yeah,
Liz.
I
We could
can't,
not,
just
we
like,
could not see a typo or, something that's just grammatically crazy. We'll insert what we think should be there. We've read it too many times, so that would be
So
helpful.
you want, we're done on style. It's purely,
Surely
you missed a comma,
yeah,
Or if there's a
Capital
word,
letter where there should-
yeah, if there's a,
Okay.
yeah,
that,
if there's
I'm happy to
something,
do.
Yeah.
that
I
way.
was like, cause like,
We
Phil
could not.
and I are blind to it, we just
Yeah.
can't even, it's just like the words are swimming.
Okay,
So the thing, I'm actually gonna skip to the zoning survey update, because it's related.
can I just finish that last?
Oh, yeah, yes.
I'm happy to do it.
Amazing.
When are you sending it to the board?
I sent the initial version to the board, but if we have like, literally we're fixing typos, I think it's okay to,
Okay, so
yeah, like, we would want it just fixed before we issued it.
if it's done by Sunday, you're fine.
Yeah, amazing,
That would be great.
yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything else to say? Other than,
Thank you.
Yes.
we're awesome?
Right.
We're totally
I wanted to bring
awesome.
champagne.
Well, let's
Like, wait until we
Yeah,
issue it.
like
Yeah.
we're a little bit off from champagne,
The,
but it's
Not quite
definitely
yet.
like thinking about what celebratory beverage we're gonna have. Like, that is definitely like the vibe that we're on. It's just further than boards have come in a really long time, so.
Can I just make one, Amber, is the board gonna now pick this apart or no? The RFP?
It's always possible.
Anything is possible, but I have been communicating with the board about the progress.
Stephen might do that, right?
Hey.
Possible.
I'm not gonna do that, put it that way.
I mean, it started with, outside counsel that you hired specifically
Right.
for this. So
Yeah.
it already has been through one legal review. You
Okay,
may just look at it to make sure that the outside counsel considered any liability for the
Okay.
firm.
I guess one other question on that, when would you think that the resolution granting the power to us to issue and review would be done?
If we stay on cycle, it would be October 7th. So I would think that you're going to introduce it next week. We would want the board a chance to read through it. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if everyone will,
Yeah,
do
Right.
so before Tuesday,
yeah.
but
So wait, so just, that's a great question. So you're saying that, sorry.
I'm looking at authorities.
No, I understood, but so we're talking
It's
about.
my usual question.
Yeah, so we're talking,
Oh,
sorry, Marie, is that you?
no, it's me.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about, like, we'll bring it to you and then you guys will take a second and do what you're gonna do, and then it would potentially be issued beginning October 7th. Cool. And then at the same time, we should also talk about, should we draft or something formal asking for how did you phrase it?
The authority, we need to be granted certain authority, but as part of that resolution, because we're not an end.
No, understood,
Yeah.
right, but I think, could you write what it is we need to?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
and
so that-
Stephen obviously has to feel comfortable with that. Yes, I can do
Okay,
that.
yeah, just like the proposed wording, just so that at
Mhm.
least we're bringing the full package.
Right, and you're going,
Tuesday?
and the board is going to want a resolution because they are technically the final arbiters of all of this, that they are issuing this for whatever,
Yeah,
make it nice and flowery.
Have we done, we had that open house, I think, where we had one or two builders at the firehouse.
hmm
Do we have a list of the 25 people we want to make sure absolutely 100% get a copy of this?
yeah, we do. I mean, I have, like, basically, I've had people reach out to me and like, we can't technically do anything special, but I can let them know that it's posted, I think is well within the,
So it's not, we can't solicit, we can inform.
yeah, I can inform them that we have builders that have reached out that have said that they're interested, that said, please let me know when you know the time it's issued. And my legal understanding is that I can tell them, in fact, when I know it will be posted. I can't do anything, there's nothing else beyond that, I think. But I mean, Miriam might have more.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, no winking, It's just like, check the website, it's
Okay.
whatever. Or, I will be posted on this day, I think is,
and will it also be in the paper? That an RFP,
Yeah.
right? Because that I assume, but it's always better to ask.
yeah, no, we'd want to put the announcement that the town is.
Yeah, the usual RFP kind of notice.
In the Shelter Island Reporter and probably all of the East End newspapers as well, give it a broader.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
which is great. Yeah, I mean, and there's also I will tell you that there's people that have reached out in the larger community that have said, again, we are not soliciting, but have said, let me know when it posts. Give me a call when you know exactly what dates you're gonna go, because I've got a couple people that would like to. So I feel like that we will,
Okay.
at least, I feel like we're gonna get bids.
No, I understand, but
Yeah.
I was just aware
No,
of,
that's-
in Connecticut, there was a group that it's their mandate to do this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not out of Connecticut.
Mhm.
But I'm sure there could be somebody in Elmira who, it's part of their charter that
Yeah.
they're supposed to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so I think
Make
it's,
sure they get it.
yeah, and I think it's and that's, I think, on us of just obviously we're gonna do all of our public notice. I've made lists of all of the builders who have reached out and asked me to let them know, whether that's by, so I have those, but if there's anybody that or people who would know that
Yeah, but-
want to know,
We can look, right? So we're allowed to look, right? And if we find somebody,
Mention it.
You can let them
I
know.
can mention it to you.
yeah, you can let them know.
And Miriam can too.
Yeah, exactly. And, also our colleagues on the Southampton and East Hampton housing have asked.
And Liz, I
Okay.
assume a woman I introduced you to, we had the call with, she's on your list already.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of questions because there are some things that are still open within the proposal.
Yeah.
To do with dates. So
Yeah.
let's talk about, like, if we're putting it out on a certain date, how much time do you want to give before the proposals have to be received back?
So we actually have, I will tell you, I don't remember off the top of my head, but there is a timetable with it. But what we didn't know, we kind of had to work
We had to wait
backwards
for
from the
your,
first date, which is the thing we didn't have, which is why it doesn't have dates in it. So I can have Miriam send me the timetable, but she said it was just kind of like a standard. But I'm happy to forward that to the group so that we understand like the cadence of it.
What
Yeah,
is the
it's
standard,
page
just
12.
out of curiosity?
I do not remember off the top of my head, but I can just send it to you guys in an email, like, because there's like 8 steps or something like that, and so.
yeah, there's a
But I
proposal.
guess what she said is there's a standard, but we didn't know what the first one was, so she couldn't fill in the rest of them.
Right.
You know, it's like,
So that's
First
just
this-
page 12.
exactly, so like if I know number 1, then we know it's like X weeks out is this, and then Y weeks out is this, and then, you know, but we couldn't do the waterfall because we didn't know the first one.
Because we have proposal date, then we have the pre-proposal conference date and location. I'm assuming the location will be here.
Yeah, that's what we talked about, yeah.
And then there's the proposed schedule and time frame and all of those informations. But that all works back from when you technically gets issued.
Yeah,
So I'd like to be able to talk about that on Tuesday.
sure, yeah, I'm happy to,
So
Yeah.
people will the public will understand, like, here's.
100%, I
The
can
one
get,
that's still blank.
yeah, I can get that proposed, like basically what her, like the standard, what her suggested cadence is for that. If we were to say, what did we say that the first date would be?
If you say October 7th
Yeah, it's
is the
October
launch
7th
date,
is
then
the
it would
9th.
be X, Y, and Z.
Okay, so we'll say the 9th.
8th would be the first date.
Okay, perfect. So, you know, if we were to issue it on the 9th, this is what it would look like. Cool. Just so we can have like an imagining of what to talk to the public about. That's great. That's great. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Is there anything else with the RFP specifically? So the 2 things I have is, Bill, you're gonna write up the exact, like the wording.
I'll do a draft resolution and then from there it'll get,
Yeah,
I'm
it'll get,
sure, tweaked.
but just as like something to start with.
Yep.
And I will bring with me like proposed dates from Miriam on Tuesday.
Good.
Okay. I would like to move to, because it has to do with the RFP, is the zoning and survey update, just because I put it at number 8, I don't know why. But basically, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have been connecting with our other council, our zoning council, about getting the, because we will need a variance for 12 South Ferry because it's 6 units, and of course that's, you know, like that's not, we can't do that as of right. And so I've been working we finally got this, like all the surveys and stuff that we needed. And so I started the process. Matt Sherman got me the rest of the items that I needed. So I was able to give them a full packet of the short environmental, you know, like all the things. And so they are reviewing all the full complement that I sent. I have a call with the council tomorrow to put together the application. So obviously, if we're looking at this to be trying to issue this on the 8th, you know, Eric Russo, who's our zoning council, knows that like we need to like, I was like, what are your questions? Like, let's get the application in. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because especially the South Ferry one needs to be well in process by the time we get there. But I think it'll be like close. We might, you know, but it's going. So, and then just as like, just as a refresher, we have everything that we need. We finally have the surveys for North Ferry and Manwaring, but the building that we're doing there is as of right. So we don't need anything like special for that. We'll just need like, you know, water permit, septic, you know, like all those kind of things. And we do have preliminaries into Suffolk Board of Health, so
We're also gonna have to know on both of them where the neighboring septic and wells are.
yeah, and I
It should
believe, yeah, I believe that we have all of that. I can double check with.
And did they put in the building envelope?
Yeah. I
That's
do.
really all it needs.
Yeah, so I believe we have full, like I said, because we don't need any kind of variant, we don't need like anything special for that. I believe we are good for that. I have another call with Matt Sherman. I'm gonna have a call, I think I have a call with him Monday after I talk to the zoning lawyer. So if there's anything outstanding, I'm not as worried about, I'm not like worried, but like there's nothing special needed for those properties, but the South Ferry one, because we're gonna do the 6 units on it, that is something a little special. So it'll have to go to ZBA. So the first thing we have to do is we have to do a building permit that has to get kind of rejected, and then we have to go to ZBA. So I want to get the building application in, and
So am I responding the RFP
mhm.
with the notion that it's gonna get rejected?
That's standard.
That's standard, that's not,
Whenever you go for a
Yeah.
okay.
variance,
Yeah, that's just how it goes.
that's how it works.
Have we disclosed in the RFP that we require a variance?
Well, we would get all the variances
We would-
first, no?
We would,
But it sounds as if you might not have the variance done.
well, here's the thing is this is part of, we have a little bit of time, right? So I think if we get to it and we don't have the variance in hand when it's time to do it, then we have to put something in our,
Change
to
the-
let them know
The date's
that
up.
it's in process, but let's push on it and cross that bridge when we get there.
And hope that we don't have to do it.
Yeah, and so the only thing that I would ask from our town board members would be is once I get that building permit in, just to have it get just to, if we know it's gonna get rejected, but if it could get rejected swiftly is what I need, because I know that some of my other EDU permits and stuff like that have languished for like 3 and 4 months. And it's gotta get turned around. Like, we don't want special treatment, but we just want,
We want special treatment.
we want expedited treatment. You know, we don't want like, I don't want anybody bending the rules, but I want to
Apply the rules expediently.
yes,
Right.
thank you. Yes.
Way to phrase it, Paul.
Yes.
And if there is an issue, it would just be disclosed as part of the pre-proposal conference.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be the time to do it.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I will have an update for you guys about that, but it is going really well. I spoke to, I feel pretty confident that they'll be able to get that building permit in even early next week. So I went through all the documentation with the paralegal this morning, and I have a conference with the lawyer tomorrow, so.
Just to get back to David's point for a moment.
Yeah.
On page 6 in the RFP, it does have a paragraph about working with the housing board and to get all the applications to
Yeah.
the department and other boards
Okay,
as necessary. So they are on notice.
okay, cool. I was like, I felt like we put something in, but,
Yeah, but the specifics would be at the conference.
right, and like I
If
said.
there is
Yeah,
something,
like I said, let's push it.
ZBA first and site plan review second, so,
Hmm.
so there will be.
yeah, there'll be something to disclose.
Yeah, but I feel like we can't put it in until we know where we're at, and, it'll be like adding a couple sentences in, so. TBD. Let's see, we'd like the Green Expo. The Green Expo. Do you want to talk about how you felt like it went, Mark?
Well, it was very nice to meet
Casey?
Casey, yes.
Casey was there from CDCLI.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and to just hear, his experience with the whole program and everything. He was coming in as green as the rest of us, pretty much. Sounds like, everybody, and they've sort of been pulling it together. I felt like in my time there were some people that came up and were interested and, but how many of those converted, to sort of making a phone call and sending an email? I don't know. Do we have any feedback on that?
Well, we're not having our call until next week or something like
Oh,
that.
right,
We
so
won't
they
know.
would contact you, they would contact CDC.
They contact them, so I don't have like the numbers yet, because I just haven't.
I think it was a good presence to have there, though.
Yeah, I felt like we answered a lot of questions
Yeah.
about it, which was great. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I thought it went, the next part of it was like kind of talking about like new numbers towards build, which is cryptic. But basically,
Yeah.
what I meant by that, and I don't have them in front of me because we're having another conference next week. Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
So I'll have updated numbers. It's just basically like how many folks are going through, like what stage are people at? And so just to kind of back up, one of the things that CDCLI had said that they really wanted to make sure that we were getting more people. We've had so much interest, but getting them more into the design build, like getting them all the way through has been really difficult. And so, I've been trying to take a more active role, and I know Amber and I went through some people that were stalled out, and have just been reaching out to them personally just to say like, hey, what's your, is there any questions that you have or anything that we can do to, just to like understand what's going on.
Yeah, let me know. I could always help with that too.
Amazing.
I know there was one guy, I ran to him at the Classic.
Mhm.
And I think he reached out to you, but I said, I think you make too much money.
Yeah, I talked to a
That's the
lot of
problem. I
people.
said, retire, get it, and then go back to work.
Yeah. But we were able to get, we definitely had, I will say, out of the folks that I reached out to, I still have a couple more on my list. I would say after like the 4 or 5 I reached out to that were stalled out, I was able to get two of them to come back in.
Oh,
yeah.
So I feel I just feel like I feel pretty good. What I notice is just like, because it's a brand new program, like you said, so we're all kind of just like learning together. It's just like making sure that people totally understand it, and then just like seeing what we can do to expedite it or.
Are there any,
New people, oh, sorry, go ahead.
are there any common themes on when you say that people sort of choke out?
They just get a little lost in the process. Just like, quite frankly, like, especially if there's any kind of thing that's like, just that is not, it's, they
I feel
don't.
like doing it, forget it. It's
Yeah,
not
right,
that
like they
important.
can't find the one financial form, or their basement is 30 feet short for the thing, and they have to go talk to one other person, then they're like, nope, or they have to get there's just like, because everything takes so long,
Right.
then it's just like, they just are like, I don't even know, I don't know if we should do it.
Right.
So, there's been a bunch of different things. What I felt like was a lot of the folks that I spoke to there's some that were just like, it's just not the right fit, or it's not the right time. But then, I was like very interested that some of the folks that I talked to were like, oh, actually, if it's just that, then like, let me know, the only other thing that I would say is, I think one of the things that I felt like, it's money, it's always money, right? It's like the economy's stupid, right? So the issue, one of the things that has like came up is because folks often, because they were upping their bedroom count to a certain point, needed to upgrade their septic system, and the building costs are so expensive. Once you added the septic to it, then they were like just priced out. They were like, they just like couldn't do both with the grant money. So there's like kind of two pieces to that, where we're able to work with CDCLI to like get more of the money to go towards build costs. So adding another $15,000 that went to the build costs rather than like administration. And like we're able to like kind of finance some of the other stuff a different way. So that, that's not the whole septic system, but that is bridging the gap for quite a few people. The other thing is like, there's kind of, I actually realized I have to follow up. There's a couple different routes of septic money that might be available. So one of the things that we're kind of limited by is the WQI money, like for septic grants, can't be used for any new building. So that means that like none of that's available for our folks. So there's like,
But that doesn't leave out state or county money, from what I understand.
right, but here's the issue with some of that is, you know, like kind of back to what I was saying, it's like, here's these folks and they have all this paperwork to do.
Yeah.
So part of it is when I tell them like, oh, and now you could go do this other crazy process, and then they're just like, you know, like, I'm done, you know?
Yeah, because who knows what the result of that's gonna be, and I've already done this, or I'm potentially gonna have to do all this other work. And if I do all that, and that's what stalls the project,
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, so that's been like kind of that's been like the difficulty is just that,
Yeah, also these people who apply for this, they might think they have a 4-bedroom house, but the town might say 3, so you'd be amazed at how, oh, no, I have 4 bedrooms. I'm like, not according to the town, you only have 3. That's, you know, it's a good thing.
yeah. But yeah, so, you know, I don't know, there's definitely like a lot of, there is additional septic money out there. The real tricky part is making it easily accessible. And I think like, especially like we do have some applicants that are seniors that are applying, like our town social worker has been really awesome and like kind of helping them get stuff together. But it's just a lot of paperwork, and sometimes it's just like it's hard. So it's just like helping folks navigate it. And
If there were a retired lawyer, right, hypothetically,
yeah,
not you.
Hey, Bill.
I was like, Jill.
To help them along.
I'm just saying, can we like point them to somebody who said, look, this person has generously offered to help you navigate this process?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what the town social worker has like kind of done, but we probably need more.
But they're not a lawyer and.
No, and honestly, like we probably need more professional help, because also I'm doing as much as I can, but I'm also trying to get this RFP and the zoning thing.
Right.
You know,
Only so much.
yeah, I mean, you know,
Have a day job.
yeah, and a day job. But yeah, I mean, if we could potentially get some other community resources to help expedite this process, that would be really, I think, really helpful. I mean, and not for everybody, but for, you know, there's some folks out there that they are applying and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this would be like this is like exactly who we want to help, but they're just feel overwhelmed. So anybody has anybody that would,
I do have an idea.
okay. But I was glad that we were at the Green Expo, and I'm hoping that when we get on the call, we'll have some more interest forms that come through. My thought would be is, you know, we do need to be at a certain level by early next summer, I believe. So I would say that maybe if we're meeting and we don't feel like we have all that locked up in the pipeline, maybe we do another event, or CDCLI said they would also do a mailing. So maybe we can kind of like talk about where we are in the balance and think about if we just want to do more outreach.
How many people broken ground?
3?
2? 3?
Honestly.
Okay.
I could be telling a big, I'll know, I can tell you.
It was at least 2 back at the Green Expo, and I feel like he said there was one on the verge.
Yeah, I feel like we have one that has like their permits and.
More than anybody else,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
possibly in the state.
Terrific.
Yeah, we are actually for like, and that's the other thing is like, yeah, we are the furthest along of anybody on the East End. And we're like definitely out in front of this program for the whole state. So even as frustrating as it is, like, we're winning. We're winning. We are winning the ADUs grant.
I don't know if this came up in the last meeting, but the sort of reduction in the management fees.
Yeah.
And that was something I learned from Casey at the time, because it was so fresh that it hadn't been
Yeah.
distributed, is that originally they said the management fee was gonna be almost 30,000 or 30% or something like that, $30,000, which meant that homeowners would only actually see 95,000 or something applied to, this project construction and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I know in at least one case that was an obstacle, a deterrent for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And, it was explained that they were so new at this when they, started going, they were just told, yeah, we need to know a number for oversight and management. And they were like, we don't know. And so they just kind of made up a number. And as the projects went along, it got revised and sort of like, iteratively improved the estimate. And they're like, well, no, actually you only need about 12 or 15K. And so that seems like there's a lot more money. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that,
Well, that's what I was talking about. So it's now up to like 115 for hard costs.
yeah,
And that was like something that like, I know I was like pressuring them
Yeah.
about, and I'm sure other like town folks were like, from the other towns were.
yeah.
But it was like a brand new program. So
They
what,
had no idea what it would
well, and
cost.
here's the other thing is what they were also trying to learn, and they are a nonprofit to help with housing. So like, that's their whole goal.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they were trying to understand, and they had to clarify with New York State, was what their record keeping had to be.
Mhm.
Right, so I felt like as they were getting pressure from us and clarification from New York State,
Yeah,
but they did, because what they didn't want to do was not have enough to administer it and
yeah,
goof themselves up. So, but their heart was in the right place, and a little squeaky wheel,
yeah.
So I was,
So I feel like
yeah.
that's
it was a pretty big win.
good, yeah.
Yeah, because that.
Change.
And here's the thing is like, what is it? Like for some folks, that was like 15 up to 25K
Yeah,
difference in what could go to their build. And if you think like for some folks that were coming in and needed an IA system,
mhm,
that's almost it,
yeah,
right? And so
Yeah.
for folks that were like, I don't want to deal with like some septic grant, I'd be like, I think we could do it
yeah,
just with this, like with the paperwork you've already done.
Yeah.
And so that was able to move some folks, which is cool.
Were there any fees on the 75 loan that they can get?
That's like a whole different thing through their community lending. So that's like outside of,
But I mean, do they get the full 75 or are there fees subtracted from it?
so again, that's through their community, that's like not part of our purview.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically it's like they can connect the folks to like fund, lending options.
but was that something that CDC, I would talk to homeowners about, or,
Yeah, that's part of,
I mean, it seems like if I were looking, can we make homeowners aware of that?
well, here's the thing is why we kind of need to keep our nose out of it, is
Yeah.
because some folks are gonna qualify for it and some people are not
No.
gonna qualify for it.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming that if it's an option for those folks, they're talking to them about it.
I see,
You know what I mean? Because like
Right.
every lender has different qualifications, and since they're looking at their financials,
yeah,
again, like, we don't want to be any more in the mix with people's
sure.
finances, but that's,
No, you had mentioned it at the.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's,
Yeah.
but we're not leading that. I just wondered. if there
yeah,
were
but it's like
fees.
it's a totally different arm of
Right,
Right.
that. Amber, do you want to do your updates?
Yeah, I was gonna say, pro-housing committee update, I think what you're talking about is the pro-housing.
Community.
Tapped with the, to get the money.
Yeah, I think it's just a mistype for her, from her.
Pro-housing community update, okay.
Yeah.
We are in the data gathering stage. We have to get data on building permits and housing starts and things like that, so it's going
Okay.
back 3 years. So we're in the data collection stage, so
Okay, is there anything that we can do to help get that together?
it's,
Because I know it was,
it's,
okay, yeah. All right. And then is there any update on the funding for the survey?
Jen was on vacation.
Okay.
So she got back last week, and so I was talking to her the day after she had just gotten back, after being gone for like a week and a half, and then having been on trying to get grant
Yeah.
applications for all of her clients. So she will be ready to talk about it more to me next week.
Okay. We'll look for an update then. Oh my God, you guys. So fast. Hey, I was like, this is just like, because last time was like a.
I know, last time was a marathon.
So I have an update for the fund. We have just over $26,000 in contributions for last month. bringing us to just shy of 529. Okay,
And by the end of the year, we should be a rough estimate, at least 100,000 more coming in.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, this is just like,
Can I ask what's it invested in?
put it in a high yield savings, so, yeah.
Saying
It's like a New York class.
SOFR's 5% now.
Yeah, so we've earned just under $14,000 in interest so far this year. But we didn't get it in the fund until,
March, April.
we didn't get it, we got it and then we put it in the May or June or something like that. It took a while to move the money, so. You know, try to ride the interest rates as much as we can.
That's a great amount of money.
Yeah, it's gonna get there. I mean, I'm just so excited. I'm excited. Here's the thing is I'm excited that we have honestly a little buffer as we're going into some of these big projects, you know? Just in case we need, you know, like these lawyers aren't cheap and we're doing our budget on Friday for next year. So but I think that the really exciting part is like, imagine what that fund looks like in 2 years when we're on the other side of this and thinking about what we're gonna do next. Like, like we've had to be so creative in how we were gonna get this stuff built, like both with like the grant from the state and this like crazy deal that we worked out for these rentals, which is like, you know, but like we're actually gonna have cash to put towards something. So we just gotta like do our survey and, you know, be thinking about what that is, but it'll be wild to be able to come at this problem with like actual financial resources, which is something that we never had.
I'm just curious, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a huge amount of money, but it's not an insignificant amount.
Yeah.
When and what would that money be used for?
Well, so you have to use it in line with the housing plan that we put together.
Right.
So, you know, we talked about, basically we're doing our housing plan. We're actually kind of executing on it. So what I would imagine this cash will go for is probably some of like the administrative fees for like the lawyers to get all of our stuff done for these projects, because we've actually already figured out how to fund them.
Right.
And mostly, I mean, at least how I'm thinking about it is just to build this cash up so that when we do our next housing plan, 2 years, we will have accumulated a bunch of cash to do something with. When we like, you know, because when we do the housing plan, we work with the community and we like figure out like, oh, are we going to try to do houses for sale? Are we going to focus on seniors? Are we going to do, you know, like, we don't know, like, we're just going to see what's needed and where the community leads us. But then the super cool part is if we have enough cash built up in there, that once we get through that and like, we work with the community to figure out what's needed, we'll be able to like execute on it. We won't have to like scrounge around like we have and like try to find the dollars. Like we'll have the dollars, we will just need to know where to point them.
Has this been 1 year since November or 2, the 0.5% in November?
So we got it passed 2 years ago, but it didn't get implemented. I want to say till like the next
It was like April.
April, because we didn't get the first
So
statement.
it's just a year and a half almost, and
Yeah.
we built up $500,000.
Mhm.
And it's actually a year and 2 months because the figures you're quoting came from the June receipts.
Yeah.
And I just saw the July come in today, and I think it was another 48,000 for.
Yeah.
community housing.
Yeah, so, but I mean, here's the thing is like, that is not an insignificant amount of money, but we also understand how much it is to really build something. So we're gonna need like a couple million minimum to do anything, but at this cadence, we could have it.
500 grand a year, yeah.
Well, my only point was that if we don't think we're gonna use it for 2 years, right? Or you're,
Should we,
can you take 400,000, put it in a 2-year?
oh,
And lock in today's rate and the Fed's gonna cut and,
that's a great idea.
uh,
I mean, because we probably, well, how about this? We're gonna do our budgeting meeting, but I can't imagine that we're gonna touch most of
I mean, not
this.
take any risk. I'm
No,
not
no, no.
suggesting investing in,
But here's the only thing that I guess I would be hesitant is what if for some reason we need, I mean, you know how it is with building stuff. What if something comes up and we have to come in with a shortfall for,
the US government security, it's most liquid security in
yeah,
the world, so. Yeah, if you need the money, you sell it.
Yeah.
And you get your cash back.
yeah. I mean, that would just be the only thing I would just want to like think about. Yeah,
You're taking a little bit of interest rate risk, but
yeah,
you're getting the benefit of today's rates, which
yeah, which
Mr.
are,
Market says is going down, not
Down.
up.
yeah,
So, I don't know,
yeah.
just a thought.
No, I like it. We can talk, maybe, we can talk when we do at our budget meeting about how to logistically consider doing that. I can't even believe it. That is all I have for you guys.
Business.
Yeah, what about old business?
No business for me.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Any new business?
Are we, anything we should help with in terms of September 26th in the forum that you're going to be on?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. No, you're welcome to come. I got asked,
Well, I have it written down.
I was like, I got asked to speak at a reporters
Forum.
forum. I'll be on a panel about housing.
Where?
St. Mary's, I think.
Oh, here on the island.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are they? Yeah,
Public forum.
yes, you can come and throw tomatoes at me
Housing,
or
water.
pom-poms or like whatever.
Why don't you do enough? Why are you so
I-
lazy?
I don't know, dude. I'm sorry, I'm so lazy. But yeah, if you want to come and ask hard questions about housing, that'd be cool.
What time?
I think it's at 6.
6.
that
Yeah, we
high?
both looked at it. Amber, you're on it too.
It's in my calendar.
And Greg
Hold on,
Toner
hold on.
and Nancy Green.
It says 5:30 on my calendar.
That might be, you have to be
That
there
might be
early.
when I have to be there, so let's call it, yeah, 5:45, bring tomatoes. It'll be great.
Presbyterian church,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you had a church, just.
I have it at the wrong, look at me.
5:30 to 7.
Okay, at least I got that part right.
It's not St. Mary's,
No.
No, I was trying to trick you by making you go to the wrong church.
so I'm converting. It's at a synagogue.
Yeah. I'm gonna change it so I don't show up to the wrong place. I would like be classic Liz. I know, it's just like weird. Nobody cares.
There was I thought there was a forum tonight.
Do we have, just before we go, Maria, Brand, do you guys have anything you want to say?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Brand?
I just have the survey. I think you mentioned this before, but we send the surveys out to union architects. Hopefully get
Yeah.
the site plan, but haven't heard back from them. Just did that today.
I saw that. Thank you for sending that out.
That's it.
Julie?
Cool. Julie?
Nothing right now. As far as the forum goes, I believe you're going to have questions given to you ahead of time. So it's not a gotcha kind of thing. Obviously, questions from the audience will be whatever they are, but Charity will have some questions for you. We've been contributing questions to her and she had some of her own, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make those available to you ahead of time.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I wasn't super worried about it, but thank you for letting me know. It does make it. easier, I guess. Anybody here in the audience? Any questions or anything? All right, cool.
Make a motion?
Yeah, I was like, you look like you got a motion on your mind.
I
Motion.
make a motion, 7:45.
Yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Have a great night.